So at Sheffield Dockfest, they asked me to recreate this piece of work. And trying to think, Nesta, National Endowment for Science, Technology and the Arts. Yeah, I got that one right as well. If you're watching, thanks. They asked me to reproduce Neurosis, and I realised to tour it was going to cost about £35,000 per installation per day, and there were about 15 scientists working on it. It was impossible. So I started to think, what is important about this work? And it really was the spectacle of new technology. It was visceral physical experiences. And I alighted on this one combination, a playground swing, which is millennia old technology. We all know how to use it. And also VR, which has had a resurgence in 2016 and is still on popular ascendance. The piece of work I created for the art gallery was called Oscillate, and it really sought to reproduce the fairground visual illusion of the haunted swing, where when you swing forwards and backwards, you believe that you're swinging much higher in the real world than you actually are. Now, this can lead to people screaming, which is great, and people who are watching have no idea what's happening. There's a very simple relationship between performance and our relationship with technology and space happening here. I've been talking to William Galinsky, so I come down to individual conversations with people. William Galinsky was the artistic director of Norfolk and Norwich Festival. I've been talking to him for 10 years about creating a piece of work. Nothing had been quite right up to this point. Showed him the swings, and he said, you need to bring this into the outdoor touring arts context. So I designed a series of swings that could be broken down and erected and toured. I redesigned the whole virtual reality experience, and we've been touring this now for this is the 4th year now. The 4 experiences. So this created, it was called VR Playground, but it's created a platform for me as an artist to be able to explore new visual language as well in these spaces, and also critically to start looking at the different types of movement I can create that the rider will believe that they're performing. Rolling in a giant wheel, walking like a giant robot, or bouncing as if you're doing parkour over a cityscape. And also looking at,
there's a phone underneath the swing seat that monitors the rider's movements.
Not so loud.
This phone talks over Wi-Fi to another phone inside the VR headset. The VR headset delivers sound and video that's synchronized with the rider's movement.
So I became also very interested in how volunteers, who I realise at festivals are a rare and a very precious commodity, often working for free, how to train these people and their relationship with technology at festivals. So I created a series of training videos to try and introduce the operators into, well, it's nothing scary, it's just a very simple piece of technology. So that started to become an equally important part of my work and another audience I started to engage with. Last year, so my relationship with technology, my reliance on universities changed last year. I set up a new design studio called Studio GoGo, funded by Innovate UK. Studio GoGo's only remit is to create virtual reality for moving structures. And we got our first commission from the City of London Corporation last year to celebrate Leonardo Da Vinci's 500th anniversary. They asked me to make a series of swings around the city space that celebrated each one of the 4 different flying machines. Created new sculptures structures that worked with the trees around the City of London. Again, this is another part of the project. I had no idea how long it would take to actually work with parks and gardens of something like the City of London. And also, we're now progressing our artistic style in the studio and looking at narratives now rather than just one-off spectaculars. And right up to date now, I've started to work with Dreamland in Margate, developing, it's their centenary next year, developing artwork now for their ride. They have the Cyclone Twist, which is this ride here, which is a circles in circles type of ride. And we're hoping to produce a piece for next year. This is a test we did 2 weeks ago. So I can't show you too much of what we're going to be making, but this is a technical test. But the critical thing about VR for me is that I'm limiting myself to mobile VR headsets. It's a real technology, even though I'm constantly stripping out as much technology as possible, not including it in. And the reason I'm working is because that particular artwork I want to be able to distribute using Oculus, the Oculus store, for other fairground showmen to be able to show my artwork anywhere else in the world. So I have this vision of creating massively distributable artwork using digital medium. And right now, how I'm working with that, I'd like to get my own ride, yes. I'd like to tour my own ride. I'd like to create a silent disco with my own ride. We'll take it to spaces. There's no other music other than people screaming on a machine as they hurtle around a public space. But right now, I don't quite have the budget for that. So how do I work with technology? Well, I'm going back to a project in 2003, a project that was funded by the Wellcome Trust. I am a thrill engineer. I have a formula for thrill. But this particular artwork was creating a machine called an auto-portrait machine, which used galvanic skin response, which monitored people's sweat levels. And the machine was designed to fire a camera mechanism of a chemical plate camera and create just one portrait of somebody on a ride at their peak moment of arousal. So these photographs have been exhibited time and time again. Some pictures of horror, delight, otherworldliness. But the key thing about this project, which I've learned from in retrospect now, is we were touring with this particular technology. It in itself was a performance I followed and worked with this fairground for many months, working with different members of the public. And this is what I've come to with my current project. I can't get a ride, but what I can do, I am one man, I can carry a suitcase. If I can create my ride, my new thrill ride, which will sit on top of other people's rides, I, as a showman, a Renaissance showman, can tour with my ride in a suitcase, turn up at a venue, open it up, and give people quite incredible experiences. So that's what I'm currently looking for. So scalability as well. Don't have to make a whole ride, but I can put something in a suitcase and tour with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.